Hey guys, RB here. Been a while since I've done a video. I've been super busy. Lots of things going on at the farm here, like usual. Very little time to work on stuff, projects I've had going and stuff. But today I'm going to take a little bit of a break and actually work on something. Something we started over a year ago now. So come along, let's get this thing going. So it's a little windy today, so I apologize for the wind, but oh yeah, we got this thing here that I need to put in storage, but I thought, you know, I put it in storage, I won't be motivated to work on it. What we got? Hey, I remember this thing. It's that Gibson garden tractor. So yeah, I've got all the parts sitting here, and I'd really like to get it put back together. I'd like to restore it, but I just don't know if I'm going to have time to do it. But at least if it's together, then I can pull it back out and work on it. So where we're at, I believe with this project, is we were going to be doing some welding to the frame rails. And I got the parts there to do it. Got the shop open, welder sitting there. I think that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to go and dig out the frame rails, and I'll show you what we're talking about with the welding. And we'll do a little welding and get that thing going. Okay, to get you caught up, as you might remember, if you've been watching the channel for any time, so this is what we got to work with. So there was, somebody had cut this out and had some kind of a bracket there. I'm thinking at some point maybe they had a home-built mower that attached there or something. That was kind of a pivot point. So I got rid of that, and this is as far as I got to it, and I should have just done it when I had it out. But I found some matching iron here. Same size, a little bit thicker, but on the tip there, but it'll work. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then we will scab in a section of this to here, get it all welded in there and stuff, and I think that'll be good. Yeah, there's a couple little bumps and garnishes here. I may put a little weld in there and then flatten it back down, or I might leave it. But anyway, so this is the kind of key thing. This is where I'm at with this project, which it's been about a year since I've worked on it, and I've managed to move, let's see, once, twice, so 2 times in that process, and we're established here now. So yeah, we're ready to work on this thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get the grinder out and get this grinded off first. I won't film that. We know what grinding is. So yeah, go ahead and get this all cleaned up, and then bring you guys back and show you how we're going to build a pattern and cut a piece of metal out. Alright, so I put the piece in the vise here, cleaned it up a little bit. It's not too bad. There is a terrible gouge right here, but regardless, I'm going to have to use some JB weld on this just to get the same kind of effect as what the metal is. So I went ahead and cleaned that up, and then I grabbed a piece of cardboard and built a template. So this is the easiest way to do this. So just hold one up there and kind of trace out what you're going at. So then now I can take this, cut that out, and then trace it to my new piece of metal right here. Yeah, and then just kind of build off of that. So I think that's all I'll do. I'll go ahead and get that cut out next, and then we'll get it put in and tack welder in. Alright, so we got our template set up here. Just go through the grinder and kind of grind that out, and then we should have a piece there. Yeah, and then we'll be ready to weld. Alright, so I just used the angle grinder and on the profile, and there it goes on the ground, nice and warm. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and set it up here now and see how well it fits in. It should fit pretty good if it followed the template. So alright, let's see how it looks here. A little tight, which is good. I'd rather have it be tight than loose. But it looks like the contour is going to work just fine. So I'll clean that up a little bit. I like it. Finally, see, it just took 5 minutes to do this, and I've been procrastinating for a year. So I'm going to clean that up and see if we can put her in, and we'll get the welding stuff out and tack her in there. Alright, looks like the piece fits good. So next step, I'm just pulling out the welder. Go ahead and get the stuff out and give our best magic to this. Okay, so did a pretty good job welding up. I'll tell you what, this little welder right here, I absolutely love. The more I get to use it and learn about it and how to adjust it, it's just amazing. It just does a really good job. There's a computer inside of it, so you can select the different materials that you're welding and everything, and it's been a lifesaver. So, I'm not a professional weldist by any means, but I think they look pretty good. I'll let that cool down and we'll grind her down. I'll do some welding on the inside, get that taken care of. And I was thinking these couple holes here were added later. I'm going to go ahead and fill those in too. And then, then we'll have a good frame rail here. So why didn't I just start with some new frame rail material? Well, I really thought about it for this side, and it wouldn't have been that bad, just a lot of drilling of holes and getting in the right places and stuff. But the other side, that piece, actually has the serial number in it. And so, short of restamping it and then having one new piece, one old piece, I just thought, we'll keep the same thing. So, and as you might remember from one of our first videos, the serial number is SS128, which makes this a really early unit. I'd have to go back through and remember, but I want to say it was like a 35 or 36. So, anyways, I'm going to turn this over and weld those other things real quick, and then we should be ready to grind them out and see how they look. Alright, so I'm going to have to charge some batteries in my cordless grinder. I'll tell you what, batteries last pretty good in this thing, and I've been really impressed. I use this thing all over the place. I just don't have enough batteries. That's the problem with any cordless tools. Once you start using them, you never have enough batteries, and you just can't keep them charged enough. So, a little housework. So, when we started working on this project, and last time we worked on metal and cleaning parts and stuff, we had reached out and not an official sponsor, but we reached out and Benchmark Abrasives got back to us and sent us some product to test out on this. And I've been very impressed, and I feel kind of bad because this project has taken so long, but I still am using their products. In fact, I'll probably go ahead and be placing an order with them here in this next month. But yeah, so flopper wheels, love them. They've held up very well. There we go. Compared to ones I've gotten even at Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, they're good for little jobs, but I call them one-job wheels because they just don't last very long. This one's lasted really well. Very pleased with it. There's also the soft bristle wheels. I wasn't too sure about those. They had sent me, I think, 3 of them, and I've used them, and I'm very impressed with them for cleaning. Like I did that, cleaning a lot of the metal, and they did a very good job. If you're looking for any of that material, I'd recommend checking out Benchmark Abrasives. They got all kinds of cool stuff. Even got some cool stickers. I think they come out with a cool sticker each month, and then they do kind of like what a lot of the other places like Harbor Freight do. They do monthly send in your project and, show them what you're doing with their product type news blitz. So it's kind of cool. So anyway, so piece is scabbing in there very nicely. So I've got a lot more grinding to do to it, but I think that's going to work out just fine. And I do believe that this is the bottom side, so it's not like it's going to be visible. Well, I got to look at videos, guys. And I apologize this is taking so long. It's just taken forever to get established again. We've been busy working. It's an active farm, so there's always stuff to do. And I've got stuff I can be doing right now, but I needed to take a break and work on this thing. It's bothered me that I've had this sitting outside now for a few months. And rather than just shoving it in the barn, we're going to do something with it. So one of the things I've been doing. So this is actually the wiring harness out of our cat roller, big old sheep's foot roller. Mice got to the harness. We looked at replacing the harness, and it was like $1,200 if we can get it from cat. So I've been going through and fixing wires, scabbing in new wires, a lot of soldering, and I'm just about done with that. Ordered some new relays. I didn't know mice liked relays, but yeah, they like relays. So had 3 bad relays out of the whole bunch. So those came in today. Get those put in. Fuses all tested good. I think I got 2 or 3 bad fuses. Not a huge deal there. So I'm hoping to get this thing installed this week, and we'll get that thing over to the shop and give it a tune-up. I think it's been down since 2017. So definitely needing to get that going. Yeah, and just projects everywhere. You saw my last video. If you haven't, go back and watch it. We've done a lot of work since then. I did start a video on the Kubota side-by-sides, rebuilding the D902 Kubota engines. Honest is, there's so many good videos on people rebuilding those that I kind of scratched my content. Because it was the first one that I had rebuilt. It wasn't difficult by any means, but I did get the new engine put in this thing, so I'm waiting for 3 washers. The fuel return rail was leaking really bad when I put it back in there, and the washers that they sent me they weren't the copper ones, they were the new metal ones or whatever, and they didn't crush down very well, so I ordered the right ones, but I've got 1 of 3 in, so I'm waiting for the dealership to call me on that. So get this thing out and about, be gone. That'll give us 2 up and going. The engine I pulled out of this is actually sitting on the bench. So yeah, so the goal is I will go ahead and get this one rebuilt, and I'll probably go ahead and film that one now that I'm a little more competent in it, and we're ready to go again. So we want to have 3 of these going. These dug-on things, we've been trying to get some more, but at auction, it's just auction prices are ridiculous. Don't get me going on auction prices. I don't know how you guys back east do it. I watch you, Matt, from Diesel Creek and stuff, and you're always going to auctions and getting great deals, and, it just seems like our auctions here on the West Coast are just bloated. We did go to an auction last weekend, scored some fences and gates and stuff, and did really well. But, it's just equipment-wise, even these UTVs, it's like the value is $6,000 to $8,000 for conditions worse than this one, and that's just a little bit too much money for that. So, we just, I just don't know. It seems like our used equipment is so highly desirable, and I'm not sure if it's just California with our air resources. I won't say board, but some of the things they do here and stuff. I think that the older equipment, the farmers are really wanting to go back to, and it seems like there's such a high demand right now, especially with the whole fiasco with John Deere and New Holland and stuff right now. I don't know. I've been monitoring, Marketplace and Craigslist and stuff, and those old tractors and stuff are highly desirable. In fact, a lot of the farmers in our area, they are going back to the older tractors. Just because they just can't get service and the value, we're kind of hurting right now. In agriculture, the prices aren't what they should be. We're hoping things will change real soon, but, we're kind of living on a hope and a dream at this point. So anyways, enough of that, catch up. So anyways, I'm gonna get my batteries charged and continue doing some grinding on this thing and see how far we get today. All right, so I did a little more grinding, and I'm happy with it. You know what? It's rough, but the rest of this frame is so rough too that I think it'll be just fine. So let me see here. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get these rails cleaned up, and let's get them primered. I think we're at that point now. We're going to do that, and then I'm going to bring in that palette of stuff and kind of sort through it, kind of figure out what we're going to do. I'd love to get the frame, rear end, the front bolster. I'd love to have all that going. I'd love to have it a chassis. And I think, honestly, once we start putting it back together, it's not going to take very long. It'll definitely help me out because at least if it's a rolling chassis, I can move it around. And, even if I don't finish it right now, make it easier to put it in storage. So, but I'm hoping to get this going. I hope you guys enjoy this content. Like I said, I apologize for it being so long. It's just, man, life. What can we say? Anyway, so yeah, let me get going on the next step here. All right, so I went ahead and pulled out the front engine mount and kind of give you an idea as to how this thing's going to go back together. Look at this, we're making progress. So on the front engine mount, I have a bunch of holes that somebody drilled. Obviously, they're retrofit engines. We have the right engine now. So I think what I need to do is go ahead and bring in that pallet of stuff, dig the engine off, and figure out which holes get used, and then we can go ahead and fill in all this. I don't know. I'm up in the air because I have a feeling that all these holes are going to be covered by the engine, and because they're going to be covered, they're not going to be seen. And I'm not against leaving the holes, just because one thing that does happen with this is the engine's mounted directly to it. Moisture gets up underneath, and any engines that I've pulled off like this, there's moisture, in between there, and it rusts and stuff. And then, so I'm kind of thinking about just leaving them. I think that's where we're at. So, core beliefs. Let's talk about core beliefs. What is a core belief? It's something that that's been adapted to you throughout years from influences from other people, such as your parents, grandparents, anything like that. I have a core belief. I don't know where I got it from, but I think it's the most logical core belief ever. And that is, what is a shop without a shop computer? Yeah, so that's what I have. And if you notice up on the screen, what do I have? I got a video. So I pulled up a video that has the unit, and it makes it so nice to be able to just, look and see what's going on. Fun stuff. See, look at, there it is. It's going to look like that better one day. One day soon. We're going to get there. So, yeah, part of doing this, is always good to take photos and video of progression of stuff so that we can go back and see where things are at. Then, we're on my page. It takes nothing, guys, to hit this little button right here, subscribe. What's that do? Well, so I just subscribed, and this is my shop email account. As I post videos, you get notified. I'm going to be doing a bunch more content, hopefully. Like I said, with me, it's just a time factor, and, I don't have a whole lot of time, but I do like it. I do enjoy doing this, and when I'm not able to go out and attend tractor shows and stuff, at least this is still kind of keeping me plugged in. So, appreciate, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Channel at RB Tractorman. RB is my initials, and then Tractorman, yeah. So that's what I'm about. So anyways, all right. So as I said, I think the next step, I'm happy with this. I got a couple of rough blemishes. I'm going to leave them. The frame rails are that way. It adds a little story. People could say, wow, the thing has been through hell. Well, yeah, it has. So, I'm going to clean these up and get them primered, and we'll get that pallet of stuff moved in and progress from there. All right, guys, so I do believe we're ready to start primering. Parts are as cleaned up as I'm going to get them, and so we're going to do this. I'll put you guys on time-lapse mode. All right, so we got these parts primered. Woohoo, getting excited. So I'd like to say this is the first painting we've done, but no, we rebuilt that transmission for this thing, and it's been all painted. It's done pretty well. There's a couple little nicks from moving it, but you know, it's still together. Key. So I think the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and hop on the Bobcat and go ahead and move that pallet of stuff in and kind of sort through it and see what else we can do here. All right, so we've got the pallet of stuff in here. Look at this. What do you think? We go back together fairly easy. I don't know. So we got the frame rails done, or primered one side. We'll flip them over in a little bit, primer the other side. Got the front engine bolster or pedestal in there. That's where the bolster mounts to as well. So what we need is we need the back construction, and that happens to be the rear end here. I think that's next. It's heavy, awkward. I think I'd like to get it up on maybe some forks. Yeah, get it up, and then I can clean it and start painting it. I'd like to get the frame all together, and then we can start working with the little stuff, start putting levers on and everything. So I think that's where we're at. I'm happy with the progress I've made so far today, so I'm going to go ahead and progress on. I think the next step is go ahead and let this dry just a couple more minutes, and then rotate it over and primer it again. Now I'm just using the 2X Rust-Oleum primer for this. You know, I think we talked about this earlier on. Because this tractor really isn't, I don't want to say desirable, but isn't a rare tractor by any means. You know, I've got to do what I can do, and financially, that's what I can afford. So we're going to do that, and then light forward gray is what we decided to go with on this, and I do have that paint. I've got all the paint, I've got all the bolts. We're in good shape. We just need to assemble. So it's not a fact that I've been lazy, it's just the fact I've been busy. Yeah, so I keep telling myself. I've got the forklift in the shop, got the rear end up on the forks, been cleaning it, been doing a little more cleaning, and then I think we're going to go ahead and primer it. You know, it's not going to look pretty, but truth of the matter is, you know, I'm just trying to get this thing back together. So we'll make it a 10-foot tractor, and if it becomes a 4-foot tractor, we'll be good. So I'll be happy with that. So yeah, anyways, that's what we'll do next is go ahead and clean that up a little bit. I did turn the parts over, got them primered, looking pretty good. I'd like to go ahead and get the rear end primered. I think I'd do one side, rotate it, do the other side, and then paint. If we get these parts painted today, I'll be happy. All right, we are on a roll now. This thing is cleaning up nice. I've got the top part of this primered, reprimered those. Those are ready to go. Give this a couple minutes. I'm going to rotate it over and do the bottom side. And I am so motivated on this today. I ended up digging all the nuts and bolts and stuff out of storage. So check this out. All right, so these are our old nuts and bolts. I think there's a couple in here too. Yeah, they were in pretty rough shape, mix and match. So I reached out to a friend who works for Kimball Midwest and told him what I was doing, and he hooked me up. So this is just old inventory, but you know, donation to the project. So I'm stoked. I do need to get this cleaned up. So I had my nut and bolt bin there. Some water got in. Pretty much isolated to the 3 empty bays. But yeah, so I'm going to go through and clean up the nuts and bolts. And we got all of our little linkages and chain and everything in this one. Guys, we got it out. We're going to be working on this thing I think that's kind of the plan over the next week. I think that if I work daytime working on equipment around here, Lord knows there's plenty to do there, and then maybe going for dinner and then come up to the shop in the evening, I think I could have this put back together. Let's talk wheels or tires. I do have a lead on some back tires. I just got to go pick them up. So that might be a next weekend project, going and picking those up. Front tires is the bottleneck right now. I do want to go 3-rib on this. They're kind of expensive. They're almost $60 a piece. So, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. That may be let's put it on my PayPal account so I can pay for it in 9 months' time. Yep. Yeah, I think we're there. So, you know, this pile of parts isn't going to take very long to put back on there. We get it all done. Then we got the engine. And ironically, I'm watching my video right now on when we first got this thing, and we did the Will It Run series on it. It runs great. So, you know, we'll get that out, get it cleaned up, repainted, maybe put a new ID badge on it. Yeah, we'll get this tractor together. Definitely so much easier to move when it's all together. So I'm tired of looking at this thing. You know, it's just, when I took it apart, I had full intentions of going ahead and restoring it at that point, but life happens. I guess that's the lesson I'm learning right now in life. The older you get, you learn certain things, and life happens. But it's okay, because life changes could be a very good thing. So anyways, all right. So, yeah, I think I'm about ready to flip this over, and we'll paint the bottom side, or primer the bottom side, and then as soon as that dries, I'm going to throw some paint on this stuff today. All right, so I kind of got all my parts down to this one tray, got rid of the other tray, big stuff, all the nuts and bolts. Yeah, so the old bolts are pretty wore out. So yeah, we're cool with that. Got some rubber, got a piece of conveyor belt, which is used to join. We'll cut a little deal out of it and use that to join the drive shaft to the transmission. That's how it was before. And actually, I think it was a piece of asbestos. Oh, yeah. So, been doing a little painting. First coat's on. Looks a little rough. I forgot. I really don't care too much for this magic paint from Tractor Supply, but you know, it's what we're going to use. So I have it. Probably have to pick up some more. It just doesn't go on very well. And then as it dries, it looks better. But yeah, it's rough. So we're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and do another coat, get things turned over, and do 2 coats on the other side. So I think that's about it for this video. We made progress today. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing edited, and then like I said, my plan is to work more this week towards this. Hope you enjoy this content. If you would, give me a big thumbs up. A little encouragement would help. Yeah. So, all right. Until next time.